Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? I know I did before I started this. I had tons of questions that I didn't have the answers to. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps people, like to listen to? How do I make money off of it? Really, and all these answers were simply answered by Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use, and I cannot specify that enough. It is so easy, especially for somebody like me. I'm lazy, although I am tech savvy and I can do all this manually myself. I don't want to. So it's great, and now Anchor can match you up with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. So that means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. And, as people listen to this ad and listen to my podcast, I will get more and more money to this and, hopefully maybe be able to be self-efficient with this. So if you always want to start a podcast and make money, go to anchor.fm/start. It's anchor.fm/start to join me and a diverse community of podcasters already use Anchors. And can't wait to hear your podcast. Welcome to the Kaha Club. Roll up. Let's take a rip. Never tell you the world is yours. Yeah, bish. Hell fucking low, and welcome back to Kyle Motherfucking High Club, episode 14. And yeah, bitch, it's fucking Friday. Fucking excited off of work. I feel like I'm starting to get a little sick again. I hope not, but it's kind of nice outside right now. We got some good fights coming up. We got the draft on later. The first round of the draft was yesterday. Got a bunch of sport things to talk about. And also life be happening too. I forget about life sometimes. But that doesn't even make sense. How do you forget about life when you live in life? So I don't know. Yeah, man, it's Friday. Had a decent amount of work this week. Got a lot of it done, most of it. I'll have some things I still will have to do next week, and of course things will pile on top of that. Just kind of never ending. But that's cool. At least I keep busy. It's better than sit around doing nothing. Like the fucking first couple weeks of this job I had when I first started over a year ago now was I did nothing. They just told me to study, self-study. And so this guy who actually no longer works there anymore, I believe his name was Vivek, just gave me 2 books and told me to read them. Even though he wasn't on my own team, I read both of the books. They're pretty much intro books to the technology I'd be working on. It was good information for somebody who's never seen the technology, but it's pretty much, I could learn that shit in like 10 minutes of, just playing around in the UI, just playing around on the website, on the user interface. But I don't want to fucking talk about my job, so let's just chill with that, man. So yeah, a bunch of things happened, I guess, in the past couple days. Yeah, I had a plan to talk about shit and start this off. I got things written down. They're all sport things related, but now, got the first smoke of the day in after work on a Friday high day. I don't know. I'm just kind of babbling and, you're either along for the ride or you're not, or you are or you're not, But yeah, so I guess the NFL draft, the first round happened last night, so I'll talk about that first since we got the rest of the draft tonight. But I'm definitely not going to talk about the 2nd through 7 rounds. I might come back here on another episode and talk about the Eagles picks, just because I'm an Eagles fan. I guess the biggest stories, quote unquote, out of the draft, out of the first round, are the quarterbacks, obviously. Because we all dick ride quarterbacks, even though they are the most important position on the field, believe it or not. I don't know who can argue with that. There was some study that Harvard did, I believe, confirming or literally statistically proving that quarterback was the most important position. And I don't really remember who it was. I think this guy named Clay Travis, who does some sports reporting. I'm not even sure with who, with what organization, or he does freelancing work, or he does his own thing. He does a Kyle High Club version, but obviously on a much bigger scale. What was I talking about? I don't even know. About the quarterbacks. Oh, yeah. And, that Harvard study that's saying proving that quarterbacks are the statistically most important position. And that guy, Clay Travis, was just oh, yeah, thank you for, telling us, Harvard, you're so smart. Such lead, cutting edge work you did there by statistically proving that quarterback is the most, important position. Cool. We didn't already fucking know that. Anybody that knows or watches football is the quarterback, he does a lot. He touches the ball every play. And, he gets the most yards and most points a lot of the times. Fucking anybody that's ever watched a game of football knows that. So, thanks, Harvard. You guys are doing great work. I'm sure they actually are. Other people are doing great work. I just had a nice little voice crack there. I guess I'm still 17. Which I guess would be cool. Can you imagine being 17? I want to go back to 17. What was I fucking... It was fucking high school senior year? Nah, fuck that. I want to go back. Hell no. Always moving forward. But if I was 17 now, in the position I'm at now, if I was in my 17-year-old body, no, I still want it because I was smaller. Yeah, I wouldn't want to... Yeah. I don't want to fucking go back. Fuck that. What? Where am I going? How does your mind think, dude? How do you get from NFL draft and what was it? I don't even know. Talking about being 17? Fuck that. NFL draft, of course, biggest news are the quarterbacks. Kyle Murray from Oklahoma went number 1 overall to the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals. A lot of people kind of expected that. He was a huge betting favorite to be number 1 pick, and it happened. Very predictable, I guess. And it was kind of up in the air, supposedly, but then the Cardinals hired Cliff Kingsbury as their head coach, and he has past experience with Murray and has an offense suited for Murray. The fast pace, stretch it vertically and horizontally, passing game, and just quick, that quick hitting, that quick hitter. So yeah, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion once they signed him that Murray was most likely going to be the number 1 pick. And of course, they drafted, was it Josh Rosen from last year? It was Josh Rosen, right? Last year, what pick was he? I don't remember what pick he was. Drafted in the first round by the Cardinals. I knew that. I want to fucking... Okay, but not till the 10th pick. But yeah, they drafted a guy in the first round last year. And, now they drafted a guy with the number 1 overall pick. So they're kind of... they'll most likely have to get rid of Rosen or, trade him. I don't know how good the market will be. Or either they'll just have him on the bench and see how it works out. I don't know. I don't think so, because he still hasn't really proven himself. I thought Rosen showed some flashes last year, and made some good plays, but just overall the Cardinals team just wasn't good last year. Offensive line was very shaky. I do have Fitz, and I believe Fitz is retired now, right? Larry Fitzgerald, is he retired? Bruh, that was nice. Yeah, he definitely had to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea, honestly, if he's still playing. Damn, I should know that. I feel like he said he retired, but I don't know. I'm literally about to type in "did Larry Fitzgerald." I typed in "did" after just searching Larry Fitzgerald, and the first thing that comes up is "did Larry Fitzgerald retire?" That's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you. December of last year, I'll let you know if I decide to retire. Oh, he's not retiring. January 23rd this year. Yeah, so I guess he's not. Oh yeah, he re-signed. Fuck yeah. So they'll have Fitzgerald's again now with Murray. They had him last year, and Rosen wasn't... I think the offensive line was just really bad, and David Johnson got hurt. So they really had no running game after that. And the defense wasn't very good either, so the offense was on the field, and, they didn't really get too many plays, and a lot of times they found themselves really far behind and I don't know. And I don't know if Kyler Murray is going to change that. They still got a lot of holes on that team. I don't think they had any other picks in the first round. They'll see what they do for the rest. I think they have the number 1 pick to start off the second round. Fucking annoys me how many times I say man. Try to get better at that. I think if I just consistently keep doing this bullshit, I'll hopefully get better. Otherwise, what's the point, So Murray went first. I don't want to see all this. I just want to see the data, man. Just show me the data. Now, ever since I started actually working IT and getting paid for it, the UIs on websites annoy me now. Just because it's so fancy and flashy. You got all these, JavaScript functions and components and shit in here, and everything's sectioned off here and there. It's pretty organized, yeah. But I don't know. I kind of just like the back end stuff. I don't know why. I like looking into SQL and like where the data is and the tables themselves, and seeing how they communicate to each other, what kind of functions are loading in each table, and how they communicate and all that stuff. Kind of tailed off there because I heard my neighbor open the door and I'm fucking high. But the Cardinals do have first pick in the second round, and so hopefully they'll get somebody there that can fill a hole as well. Right away. It says their needs here is offensive guard, so maybe they'll look to pick a guard or a decent lineman coming up here. So yeah, Kyler Murray went 1, and of course one of the Bosas went number 2 to Nick Bosa went to fucking San Fran, and I really like that pick. San Francisco, and I got John Lynch there as the GM. What's his name? It's Kyle. Is it Kyle Shanahan? Yeah, Kyle Shanahan's the coach there. Hopefully Jimmy Garoppolo's coming back. Because I think Jimmy Garoppolo was legit. And he looked legit when he played last year. He looked legit last year in the couple games he played. I think he was undefeated when they played. Then he got hurt and had to sit out the rest of the year. But I thought he looked legit last year. I don't really remember where their skill position players are looking like. The receivers or running backs. They seem like a decent guy. The 49ers are, in the past have been predicated on defense, and they want to have, a tough defense out there. And Nick Bosa will definitely commit to that. He'll definitely add to that, break some pressure off the edge in this NFL with the, quick passing presence. You got to get a pass rush. You got to get that quarterback quick. Otherwise, your linebackers definitely don't stand a chance in coverage, and cornerbacks and safeties don't either. After 3 seconds, it's tough. It's really tough to cover a guy that knows where he's running. He knows the route, and you're just trying to follow him. And that's just man. I mean, you can split up in zones and stuff too. You can't touch the guy, and now you can't tackle him until he catches the ball. It's tough, I think, and I've probably said this before. I think defensive backs, especially cornerbacks, the guys that can man up, man a guy, especially press him off the line, they're the best athletes overall in any sport, I think, just physically. They might not be able to run over you and, lay the boom on you, like some of the running backs or linebackers or the big-ass D linemen or offensive linemen. But as far as pure athleticism and agility and, they still have some power, I think cornerbacks are probably the most athletic. Some of the smaller guys, though, out there. But they still make some tackles, too, every now and then. Yeah. Bosa went number 2, and then what everyone's talking about is how the Giants went with Daniel Jones, the quarterback from Duke, who played there, I believe, for all 4 years. They put up some decent numbers. I guess they really liked him. He trained with the Mannings a lot, all the time, down at Duke. They do the Manning camps or whatever, and I know Daniel Jones would work out with them a lot. And obviously, the Giants... he have Eli Manning, so I think the thing behind this pick is that they already know the kid. Eli knows him, so it's not like they're bringing in some guy that knows that, or that's like trying to be cocky and forcibly trying to take Eli's spot. Not saying that'd be hard. I feel like any decent quarterback could probably do that in the NFL. At least the top 15 to 20 guys. So I put Eli below my top 15 for sure. I guess I'd have to write out a list to see where it actually comes out, but I think more than likely be under my top 15. But yeah, so I think, Eli will play for like a year or two, and Jones will, be there and waiting, and they're thinking that once he's ready, they'll play, and he'll know the system and stuff, and he'll be off to the races. And I know a lot of people are shitting on the Giants because they know, or they didn't draft Dwayne Haskins, a quarterback from Ohio State. Said he dropped all the way to number 15. And I kind of get why. I mean, Dwayne Haskins is fucking nasty. I thought he was really good. Out of, those three guys, Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, and Dwayne Haskins. I had Dwayne Haskins number 1. And honestly, I'd probably have Daniel Jones number 2 and then Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's definitely a talent, definitely very athletic. He can throw as well. He's kind of Russell Wilson-esque, but a lot shorter. Not a lot shorter, but shorter. We'll see how he fares out. I don't know why. I just always feel iffy about really small guys. And I always get iffy about runners, just running quarterbacks. For some reason, they don't seem to hold up. The only one that's been able to hold up is Cam Newton. But Cam Newton's also been injured as well. He's been injured a lot. He had some problems with his throwing shoulder for, about 2 years now. And I don't even know if it's still healthy. That dude gets, fucking almost 1,000 yards rushing each year. Almost. I don't know. And I think I get iffy about it because my favorite player growing up was Michael Vick. Before I knew the fucking dogfighting, incidents, and I actually loved Michael Vick even better when he came back after that, served his jail time, redeemed himself, revitalized his character and his career, sat the bench for a little while, and then once he had the time to play, he was just fucking electric. He was actually a good passer, and, put up the only season he had, the first season he ever had with more than 20 passing touchdowns. And I always thought he was great and stuff. He is great athletic talent, but he's subpar quarterback, overall. Just the numbers aren't there. The throwing numbers, the accuracy numbers aren't there compared to, the consistent Pro Bowlers, And, maybe that's just Vic and he just wasn't a thrower. But I always get it. And, he got hurt a lot. So I'm always iffy about the guys that run around and rely on their feet a little too much. I didn't really see that from Russell Wilson. I didn't pay attention to him much in college, but some of the tape I liked, and he doesn't look to run. He runs either when he has to or when it benefits him. When he's trying to, get outside the pocket, run away from the defenders chasing him, or just have some fancy footwork in the pocket, or just do 360 spins to avoid guys or whatever. He's just moving because he has to, or the play takes him there. He's not looking to run with his feet and pick up 40 yards whenever he runs. When Vic did that, when Vic played, he did that, and he did it because he could, and he did. Like, Michael Vick has some of the most exciting runs ever in college and NFL history. The dude was just a freak athlete. And it just didn't make sense how much faster and more athletic he was than anybody on the field. Thank God. But he more so looked to run. Is where he was trying to make a play with his feet. He wasn't always necessarily trying to run, risk the chance of it being intercepted. When he knew for the most part, definitely in college, definitely growing up, in high school, he could just take the ball and run past everyone, juke everybody out. And honestly, that was kind of a more higher percentage thing than throwing it sometimes across the middle of the field, trying to read defenses, do your scouting and stuff beforehand. It is what it is. That's why I liked Dwayne Haskins the most, because he can run. He's a little athletic. He's not the most. He's not, athletic like Kyler Murray or Michael Vick or Lamar Jackson or Russell Wilson, but he can move around the pocket. He might not have as good moving ability as Cam Newton, but he can definitely move, and he's not a runner. He's a passer. He's a pocket passer, and he moves outside the pocket when he has to. He's a big guy. He can probably take a couple shots. And some of the throws he makes are just on point. They're just dimes. And, yeah. And, I like Daniel Jones because he had 4 years at Duke. I knew he trained with the Mannings, so he's definitely some of that intellect and the knowledge of the game has got to rub off a little bit. Like, it's not like he trained with them once. Like, he's been training with them for years because that's where the Manning passing camp came out of, I believe, was at Duke. I think I might have just made that up. I feel like I heard that. But, I've been hearing, I didn't even know the guy's name, but I knew the Mannings have been training down there, and they've been training with the guy from Duke, and that they say he's legit. And Peyton Manning's one of the most legit NFL quarterbacks ever. I put him number 2. I have Brady 1, Peyton Manning 2. We'll see where it ends up, but I think Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers will probably be up there as well. Drew Brees might be number 3, honestly. Numbers might end up being better, but yeah, we'll see. I'm not trying to talk about that. Yeah, so Giants took Daniel Jones at 6, and then Dwayne Haskins came up at 15, or he fell all the way down to 15 to the Redskins. I guess there really wasn't anybody in there that would take him. I'd say maybe Oakland, but definitely not at 4. Buccaneers, no. Those are 4 and 5. Daniel Jones, 6. Jaguars, they got Foles. Stafford's Lions. Bills have Josh Allen. I could have seen them taking him, but they just draft a guy first round. You can't draft quarterbacks in back-to-back first rounds. But it made sense for the Cardinals because that's Kingsbury's guy, and we'll see if they can make it work. Bengals, no, even though they probably should draft another quarterback. Probably not till later, though. Green Bay, obviously not. Dolphins could probably use a quarterback. I don't even know who they have down there, honestly. And then 14 is the Falcons, and 15, Dwayne Haskins. That makes sense. They got Case Keenum there. Alex Smith's hurt, but he might be in the room still, so we learned some from him. What's that? They had somebody else. I don't know. Who knows? You might be able to play right away. Yeah. That was pretty much the story of the draft. And then the Raiders took Alabama's running back Josh Jacobs. So he drafted running back in the first round. When people always tell you not to do that. The Eagles, my team, drafted Andre Dillard from Washington State, offensive tackle. I was a little surprised initially by this pick, and especially because we traded up to get this pick. We were at like 25, 26 or something. And we traded up. Who did we trade with? The Ravens? Definitely had to be the Ravens, right? Yeah. I believe we traded with the Ravens from 25 up to 22. And Andre, and we gave up that pick and a 3rd and 4th round later on, which I was surprised by. Because I was like, how can you not? You can wait a little bit and not give up 3 picks, for one. But they ended up taking Andre Dillard, and the more the guys on TV talked about it, the more it made sense. Honestly, I didn't know the guy. At first, I was shocked because I was like, why did they take offensive tackle? We got Lane Johnson, the right tackle. He's one of the best in the league. And obviously, Jason Peters, our left tackle, Hall of Famer, perennial all-pro. But but he is getting up there in the years. Like, he's going to retire here sooner or later. I think he only has 1 year left on his deal, or maybe re-signed a 1-year deal. So then it made sense to, maybe not have Dillard replace Jason Peters, because I think the assumption was that eventually, honestly, I thought Jason Peters would retire a long time before. Not a long time, but maybe last year or this year or the year before. So he stuck around, but I think the plan was always to move Lane Johnson to left tackle, because that's where he played in college and he was just nasty there. But Peters has been relatively healthy. He has got injured a bunch later in his years. He has kind of lost a step. But so either now, maybe Peters will, we got Andre Dillard, and, it kind of makes sense now because they really want to bolster and keep that line, set for years to come, because we got Carson Wentz for years to come. Build a franchise around him. And, Lane Johnson's already one of the best right tackles in the game, if not the best, because usually the best tackle plays on the left. Because the future Hall of Famer Jason Peters over on the left, and I don't know if he ever played right tackle. It'd probably fuck him up. He probably wouldn't know where he is on the field. He'd probably get confused. Not really, but yeah, I don't know. Now have Dillard in case Peters gets hurt, or even in case Lane Johnson gets hurt. He looked like a solid guy, and from what I was hearing, that this guy was our number one, tackle that we thought we could get, at our original position. And he was still available come 22, and everyone pretty much knew the Texans, who were sitting at 23, would take an offensive tackle, because their biggest need was just offensive linemen, and they kind of needed to get a solid pass protecting tackle on the left side to protect to protect Deshaun Watson's blind side. So the Eagles and pretty much everybody in the league knew that they would choose the tackle, and I think the Eagles didn't want them to take their top guy potentially. I guess they really liked Dillard, and from the tape I saw, he looked really good. He looked really athletic and versatile. Might even possibly be able to push him a fucking guard spot if need be. So I think it was a pretty good pick, and a very good pick for the future. A lot of times in the first round, you want a guy to plug in there and to start playing right away, and I think he probably definitely could. But he doesn't need to. Take some time, learn the system, learn all the pass protection, audibles, things like that. Be able to identify matchups at the line, be able to help other guys at the lineup, communicate with the other offensive linemen. And yeah, you can learn from one of the best ever to do it in Jason Peters, and a guy in Lane Johnson that looks like he might be one of the best too. Not saying he'd be a future Hall of Famer, possibly, but definitely a Pro Bowl guy, especially at right tackle, because usually the right tackle is just the other tackle, but Lane Johnson's nasty. He's one of the best. He could be one of the best left tackles in the game for sure. And as I said, I'm just repeating myself now. Yeah, just staying on the football train. Russell Wilson signed a new extension, I believe. I didn't write down the number, so I'll just look it up. Russell Wilson signs 4 extensions with the Seahawks. 4 years, $87.6 million. Damn. Previous larger was Aaron Rodgers, 5-year, $110 million. Damn, that's insane. So he's now the highest paid. They have a $31 million signing bonus. That's insane. That's crazy. He only made $2 million his first 3 seasons. Now this man just got a $31 million signing bonus. 4 years, $80 million, so at least $20 million per year, $87 million. So about $22 million a year, which is crazy. So he'll be around for a while, well, at least 4 years, and dude, he got paid. Congrats, he deserves it. Yeah, he's a solid player. And one thing I saw was interesting. I think it was right after, or it might have been right before his deal. It had to be after. He gave $12,000 of Amazon stock to each one of his offensive linemen, which is crazy. You know, say he just gave it all to the starters. That's $12K times 5. What is that? I don't know. $70,000. That's more than I make a year. So what the fuck? And he just handed it out to his coworkers because he was feeling generous. I mean, he did just inherit $31 million by signing a piece of paper. I mean, he had to do a lot of hard work before that, obviously, and win a lot of games, won a Super Bowl, went to another Super Bowl. And he lost and threw an interception on the 2-yard line. So that was just really a good play by Malcolm Butler. But yeah, that's fucking crazy. You know how much money that is? $12,000 worth of Amazon stock, and how much potentially that'd be worth in the future. Amazon stock sits at like, I don't even fucking know. Last time I looked, it was around $400, $500 for one. Amazon stock price. Are you kidding me right now? Is it 2,000? What the fuck? What the fuck? What? That's insane. And I know the last time I looked at it was a couple of years ago, but now it's at $2,000 essentially for, wow, what the hell? Jesus Christ. For one share at Amazon, you gotta pay $2,000. That's crazy, man. What the fuck? That's crazy. Wow. That just shocked the fuck out of me. Jesus. That's making my gears turn. It's like I should have invested when it was $400, when I had $12 to my name. Duke's men basketball, I believe, signed the top 3 recruit. And I believe now they have the top recruiting class coming in for next year again, which would be cool. I know I'm kind of just a bandwagon Duke fan because I've never been to Duke. I've never seen a Duke game. Well, I've watched a lot of games on TV. Never seen one live. Don't have any family affiliation with them. Anything. If anything, the only thing I can claim is that I grew up in Virginia Beach, which is really close to the North Carolina border. It was pretty close to North Carolina, but it wasn't really close to Duke. Duke's a little further. It's a couple hours away. And again, I never went there. I don't think I ever even drove through the city. And if I did, I just don't remember. But yeah, I've always liked them since I was younger, and I think it's because somebody gave me a Duke men's basketball long sleeve t-shirt, now that I remember it. I don't even know who it was. I'm guessing either my mom or dad. But it was just a t-shirt. It wasn't like, oh, here's Duke, like we love Duke. It was just a regular t-shirt. I'm not even sure where they got it from. Did they, like, steal it off some poor kid or something? I don't know. Some Duke fan. Like, they didn't like Duke, and they're like, I'm going to steal your shirt and give it to my son. I don't know. Probably not. What? And Honestly, I think ended up liking Duke because my brother liked UNC. I always tried to like everything he didn't like. He likes the Yankees, so I like the Red Sox. But yeah, it's cool being a Duke fan because you always get to see the best players in the country play. You can just watch that team. Don't watch anybody else. Just watch their games. You'll see the best players. You'll see Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, a bunch of other guys. Brandon Ingram was there. Tyus Jones. I always liked Tyus Jones when he played at Duke. Probably nobody knows who he is anymore. Jay Billis. Not too many guys from Duke have been great NBA players. It would just seem weird. I've seen Grant Hill. I don't know. Just going off sports stuff. So Nathan Eovaldi, pitcher for the Red Sox, starting pitcher, right-hander. I know on one of my past episodes I talked about how he had some elbow problems, so he was on the 10-day injured list. Ends up being he needed surgery, so I believe he had surgery. It might have been Monday of this week, so a few days ago. And that, the Red Sox didn't give a timetable for his return, but sources are saying, the surgery typically takes 4 to 6 weeks. And that's usually just to heal and get back to 100%. And then once you get back to, kind of 100%, you gotta get back into playing shape. He's a pitcher, it won't be that much, but if it's his throwing elbow, it's going to take a while. That's going to take a while to get back to being 100%. That's something that's going to take a couple months. Honestly, he might not be 100% till come playoff time, if we make the playoffs. That's what we'll need him, or come September. So I hope they just take it slow. It's still very early in the season. Red Sox did get behind there. Early to start out this season, but we won a couple games in a row now, especially against the Rays. No longer last. We were 8 games down at once now, sitting at 5.5 back. 2-game winning streak. We're at home for the next couple games. Yeah, 11-15 right now, still under 500, but we're still there. I think we're still in the hunt, and we're still got a shot. And like I said, it's still early, 11-15, so I've only played 26 games. Somehow that doesn't add up in my head, but that's definitely right. Also, piggybacking off the Red Sox, this rookie, Chavis, I don't know his first name, honestly. I probably should know that. He's been playing pretty solid. He's been playing second base. Michael Chavis, that's what I thought. Because we got a hole at second base. Pedroia's hurt. I was hoping he'd be back, actually be healthy and be able to play. I don't think the Red Sox were honestly counting on it. I think they were probably hoping, but we got a bunch of guys that can play second base. Pretty much any infielder can play second base. It's the shortest throw, so really as long as you have a decent arm, you can make pretty much any throw from second. If you have any athletic ability, any former shortstop or any shortstop could play second. I think third baseman could play second as well. Depending on the third base, that you'd have to be a little more athletic at second and quick. Some third basemen are kind of, thick, stocky dudes and just, they're good at the reaction plays, but not necessarily going, left to right 15 feet in the hole and make a Jeter-esque throw, a jumping throw, or, a throw on the run to first base. Definitely some guys can, like for the Red Sox, for instance, which is what I've been talking about. So Pedroia is out. but I don't think he was going to play anyways. I think they were probably going to switch it between Eduardo Nunez and Brock Holt. And Nunez would sometimes play third as well, give Rafael Devers a break. This young third baseman who's really starting to come into his own. I don't know how his numbers are looking right now, but he's a solid MLB player. I think he's proved that already. Essentially, Pedroia at second, and then Brock Holt, who, easily could play second. This man could play anywhere. He could play short. He could play third. I'd probably wouldn't have him at short because that's where Bogarts would play. He could probably play any outfield, or I know he could play any outfield position. And, he's hurt as well. Eduardo Nunez is also out to play second base. So they brought up Michael Chavis, and I don't know if they brought up Sui Lin. I forget how to say his name. But he played second for a little bit. He's a very good defensive player. Not the best with the bat, but he's very athletic. He can make pretty much every defensive play. Yeah, he's not even on the roster anymore. Oh, no, yeah, he is. Su Wei Lin. Bless me. From Taiwan. No, this guy, Michael Chavis, who I didn't know, is out of Marietta, Georgia. He's from Marietta, Georgia. I'm only 23 years old. But he's been looking solid. He's already hit 2 home runs. He hit a home run last night. Pretty much won the Red Sox the game. They have him listed as third baseman as his position, but he's been playing second with those injuries, and he stepped in there. He's done pretty good, and it's cool to see guys make their MLB debut and also actually make an impact and not just strike the fuck out all the time. So he's already got 2 home runs, 4 RBI. He's batting .222, but I think, when I was growing up, batting average was huge. It was a very big statistic. It was the statistic. But I think more and more it doesn't matter really in baseball. People are more concerned with on-base percentage and slugging percentage. Essentially slugging on-base percentage is your on-base percentage. It's how many times you get on base. It's not just getting hits. It's if you got to walk, if you got hit by pitch, if you, I don't know. I don't think they give you, do they give you on base if you get on for an error? I don't know. But, and then your slugging percentage is essentially how effective it is your hits when you get a hit. So, yeah, it's been a while since I've actually looked at it, but I'm pretty sure slugging percentage is you just take your average. So if you hit all singles, his percentage would be .222. But then if you hit all doubles, it's double that. It's times 2. So it'd be .444. If you hit all triples, it'd be triple that. If you hit all home runs, it's quadruple that. Times it by 4. So essentially, it's counting bases and not really hits. So you're just counting how effective your hits are. A double counts twice as much as a hit. So essentially, you get like 1 at bat. So if you get an at bat, here, I'll run through a scenario, and I'm just doing this off the top of my head. Fuck it. First at bat, you hit a double. So right now, your slugging percentage is what? Well, his average would be 100. I don't know how this works. I think his slugging percentage would be 2,000. Or 2. Then let's say you strike out your next at bat. So then slugging percentage would be half that. Yeah. So it'd be 1. Because essentially you have 2 at bats where 1 at bat you got a double. And the next at bat you did nothing. So the average of that is 1, if that makes sense. The average of your effectiveness of getting on base, is 1. You're pretty much, because you hit that double, it's like it being on base on your second time. I don't know, man. This is confusing. I'm confusing my fucking self. So what if you strike out again? Or you just get out again? You don't get a hit. Does it cut it half again? No, because then it'd be 1 for 3. And your average would be 333. Because you hit a double, that one hit counts for 2. So it's really like when you take your slugging percentage into account, it's like you're actually 2 for 3. That's what it's like. So you're actually 1 for 3. You hit a double, strike out, and a ground out. Your batting average is 1 for 3 because you're 1 for 3 for getting a hit. But because the double you had, it's essentially like having 2 hits in 1 hit and one at bat. I think I don't even want to think about it anymore. But all I'm trying to say is this guy's slugging percentage is at 611, so it's pretty good. His on base is 391, close to 400. So he gets on base almost 40% of the time. And his OPS on base percentage plus slugging, just combining those two numbers, is 1. Essentially, I think anything over 1 is good. I think. I don't fucking know. But I did read Moneyball, and I think that's what they said. But who knows how the things have changed since then. That book came out before there was really too much technology and big data and, large databases where you could gather all this information instantaneously and, output it. Let's take another guy, for example, like Su Wei Lin. His batting average is only 154. And his on base is 154, so he hasn't any walks or anything like that. He hasn't been hit by a pitch. And his slugging is 231. You add those together, on base and slugging, his OPS is 385. That's not very good. It's not very good, man. So yeah, that's why I said he's not the best hitter, but he's good. He's a good defensive utility man. And really, that's all I had written down for today. I did have some random thoughts pop in my head before I was starting this, and it was like some really deep, insightful things, but that was honestly just the weed, trying to reevaluate and be self-aware about myself and how shitty I can be, but also recognizing that although it's not that I'm a shitty person, I don't like lying to people. So a lot of times when, instead of just saying, yeah, I agree with you with something dumb I hear or something I disagree with, it doesn't even have to be dumb, it could just be something I disagree with. Instead of just shaking it off and just being like, yeah, that's cool, or yeah, you're right, or whatever. I just have to put my fucking one. Yeah, but what about this? Just that. Did you look at it from this point of view? And it's not even like I'm saying your point of view is wrong. I'm just trying to say, hey, there's more than one point of view. Because there always is with anything, unless if it's a horrific crime and there's evidence and you have, all the evidence to prove it in a court of law. There's pretty much only one view, but even in that circumstance, the perpetrator, the guy committing the crime, is going to have a differing view as well. He might have a motive at why he did it, or a reason, or he might not, and he's just fucking crazy. There are crazy people out there that just do fucked up shit for no reason. And I'm not one of them, I don't think. Even though I do like talking shit to my friends, and that's fun. but I think that's just what friends do, especially guy friends. Fucking girls do it too. They'd be like, "What's up, bitch?" It's just a human thing. It's a bonding thing to shit on your friends because you're just playing around. But I don't know. I wish I could be more friendly, more neighborly, more. I don't know. That's really it. Just nice. It's not even nicer to people because I feel like I'm pretty nice. I'm not usually like a straight up dick to anybody. Um, I don't try to be an asshole to anybody. It's not like I'm trying to make you feel like a piece of shit. Um, I just think a lot of people take me that way because, I am an emotional person. I do get emotional. I do cry sometimes. I laugh a lot. Um, I do get angry sometimes, so I get happy as well. But when I'm speaking, especially if I'm talking about a topic or something that's just going on, that's happening like in the moment, or you're having a discussion with somebody just back and forth about something. It's like you don't have to be. I don't know. You're just having a fucking conversation. I instead of a lot of people just go along with what other people say all the time and just like, yeah, man, like, cool, yeah, because either they're too busy looking at their phones or thinking about why their boyfriend hasn't texted them back yet, or why this or that, or why some new song is out, or why some new celebrity beef is going on, or what did Donald Trump say today. Everyone's all caught up in the fucking mix. Myself included. I get fucking trapped in those Twitter wormholes sometimes. You just get caught, scrolling through your feed for fucking half hour or whatever. I don't do it as often as I did before, definitely. I rarely do it now. But instead of just, when I'm actually talking to somebody or trying to discuss something, or, you think we might just be having a conversation, and I think that as well. Yeah, we're just talking, but, like, if we're going to have a conversation, I'm not going to half-ass the conversation, unless if I'm in the mood and I don't want to connect with you. But if I'm trying to connect and grow and build and be a better individual, a better person, try to see differing points of views, and maybe help somebody else see a different point of view as well. I'm not saying my point of view is right or correct or accurate, but I have opinions about things, and oftentimes I'm wrong, and I'm willing to change my mind. But in order to change your mind, you have to be willing to listen to other people and engage other people in discussion, instead of being caught in the fucking whatever, the Twitter sphere, the web, or Netflix all day, or I don't even know anything. It's just what? I know. I have less than 4 minutes left, and since you distracted me, cutie, I'm just gonna end it now. But yeah, I don't know, man. People are so emotional. It just clouds fucking reason, and it clouds, myself too. I get angry, but also I don't know if I want to go into this. I only have 3 minutes left. I'm not even going to go into it. But people are so emotional and reactional. Like, if you even present a differing view than the fucking narrative they've already told themselves, and all the friends they surround themselves with, and the same exact people they talk to every day. Nobody's really different than them. No one thinks different than them. No one has a unique set of mind. They just accept everything that is told to them by their friends, by their colleagues, by the media, by advertisements. They just accept whatever they portray as smart to be the truth, which, I mean, I do that too. I follow people who I trust to tell me to, not like they're directly telling me the truth, but at least try to be truthful in the subjects they're speaking about, or at least hear from experts on subjects to diagnose and, make an informed opinion on my own account, and not just, regurgitate the same fucking shit at the last 1,000 people before you said that have the same fucking haircut, and you guys all wear the same eyeliner, and I guess I'm talking about females here. I'm just really talking about why females be so emotional. I can't even just have a conversation with you about things. But then I guess I can't have an emotional conversation. What are you feeling? Tell me what you're feeling. I'm not feeling anything. I'm feeling I want to watch this movie, and it's pretty cool. It's got my heartbeat racing. And I'm hungry, and my balls are tingling. That's what I'm feeling. That's it. Unless I'm in love with you, I'm not feeling much. Except what's going on around, or maybe we're having a great conversation and connecting emotionally on some sort of past experiences, or even an intellectual conversation, or just discussion back and forth, exchange of ideals, but I don't know. Let's keep our mind open. I'm trying to keep my mind as open as well. I don't want to be single forever. I want a girlfriend, so I guess I got to deal with these emotions someday, settle down sometime. But, and eventually I'd want a family, but we'll see. Who knows? I only got 20 seconds left, so we're signing off. I love you guys. It's Friday. Let's have a high day. And now I'm going to let my cat outside because she won't stop whining. And I love her. I want her to be happy. And I love you too.